Hello, welcome. It's Wednesday, so I'm back in the garden here in Pearl City at the Urban Garden Center, and I wanted to do something a little different today and show you a different area that has been reorganized, so it looks really nice. And these are going to be trees in pots, so if you have limited space or you don't I don't know, maybe you just can't dig the hole and take care of larger plants and different things, then you can put a lot of trees in pots and they will produce. So the key is to have the right size pot, number one. Number two, they do need to be watered frequently, so put them on a drip system so it's automatic, and premium soil, and then fertilize. You want to make sure you do a good fertilizer. There's a very popular one that's blue that is not ideal. It's going to leave a lot of salts in your soil, so try for something that's liquid. A liquid fish emulsion is a good low dosage that you can do frequently. It's just like us. If we take too many vitamins, you know what happens? It just gets flushed out and nothing gets used. Same thing with the plants. However, where does it go? It sits in the soil and it's not healthy for the plants. So as far as nutrients, you just want optimal amounts, not overloaded. So enough with me. Let's take a look at the trees and pots over here. So this first one I want to show you is an avocado, and if you're familiar with an avocado tree, you know that they can get absolutely huge. This tree right here is maybe 4 feet tall, and you can see why it works well in the pot, because it's been trimmed and it's already started branches only about maybe 7-8 inches from the soil. So this one is not producing at the time, but it will, and you can see how nice and healthy it is, and you see those branches, but you can see all the pruning marks. So when it's in a pot, you do need to get familiar with pruning. Every variety of tree has different requirements for pruning. So some avocado is pretty vigorous grower. Here in Hawaii, you can actually prune it twice and try to get a second crop out of it. But it grows so quickly and it produces on that new growth. Other trees such as pomegranates won't produce until that wood is a year old, so you need to be aware of that. If you prune things all the same and you wonder why some things aren't producing, that might be the situation. So this next tree over here, he is happy, and actually for most people, this is the ideal size for a starfruit. We call it 5-finger, because these are like large shrubby trees, and as you can see, when they produce, they produce. So your fruit on here, this one has not been thinned, so the fruit is smaller, but it's more snack size. It's more ideal for how much a person could eat. This is plenty of fruit for a family. Like I said, if you grow it in the ground, it goes crazy. If you're not on top of it, pruning it tightly, and you have so much fruit, you can't keep up with it. And if you don't sanitize, it is a magnet for vectors like rats, and it gets smelly and stinky, and it just looks junky. So starfruit, 5-finger, an ideal plant to grow in a pot because it produces so vigorously. So these pots here, you can see they are durable plastic, so they're not that heavy, which means they're also more affordable. You may be looking at it and say, yeah, but it's kind of ugly because they only come in black. Well, there are a lot of creative ways that you can disguise the pot. And something I want to show you, look at the bottom of the pot there. You see where those drainage holes are on the sides. So that is also something you would have to add onto the pot. It does not come with holes on the side, but that helps to flush things out so you don't get stagnant water down in the center. We need to prune our avocado trees. Hi, Lori. Oh yeah, avocados. If you blink, it's gone to town, and it's blossoming and producing fruit again if they're really happy. Hi, Val, come on now. I know you have a yard. Pick a plant, put it in a pot, and grow it. 5 finger, as you can see, is pretty easy. It's fun. You know what's a nice thing about 5 finger? People like 5 finger, but they don't like it so much that they're going to come into your yard and steal all of it overnight, like a tangerine or a mango or avocado. Okay, so here's the next plant in a pot. So this pot is a little smaller than the one for the 5 finger, and look at the base of this tree, and you can see it has been pruned multiple times. I'm gonna check up on you, Val. Make sure you're growing something. Pick one. Your son will have so much fun. And that's because figs, they grow pretty rapidly too. It's constant. You can see it's already got lots of new growth. Figs are quite amazing. They are a plant that you can really make do what you want it to do. So Lori says, our avocado, I bet they are. Pick a fig, Val. Yeah, hey, figs. Figs, once established, they are very drought tolerant. I mean, they're Mediterranean plant, and there are a lot of varieties. The only thing is, birds really like them. So, but there's a lot of different varieties of figs, and you will never find a fresh fig in the grocery store. They're just so tender. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for joining. They're so tender. They're like certain berries, you know, like raspberries or different things, right? They just don't pack well, so you have to grow them fresh. Figs are pretty tough, so if you over prune, they'll come back. Give them some water, they'll come back. But when I say you can make them do whatever you want them to do, you can train them to grow horizontally. You can train them and prune them to grow flat against a wall or a fence. You can do all sorts of things. If you want to see some just outrageously amazing farms for figs, look up Japanese fig farms or something like that on YouTube. And yeah, it's just amazing. And you can get a lot of figs off of a small fig tree. So this tree right here is grown in the ground, and it's kind of a love-hate plant. The noni. If you plant this, all I can say is daily, when it's in fruit, you need to sanitize, because those things can get quite smelly quite fast, and they're slippery if you're walking in the yard and you step on one. So noni is not my favorite. So we'll just say that. If you're on the mainland, I'm going to tell you it's one of those healthy plants that have cleansing properties. And so I'm not sure. I'm taking a guess on this tree. I think this is a miracle berry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm out here in the garden. I felt something on my foot, and I thought it was a centipede. So I'm not really sure. There's no sign on this. I'm not familiar. Yeah, so good for me. I will eat any other things, Lori, that are so good for me. But I wanted to show you this because look at this bark. Isn't that gorgeous? So, like I said, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's edible. It's in the ground. This used to be the medicinal garden So this may be the miracle berry, but I've never actually seen the tree. Actually, I've never even seen the fruit. I just hear the name around. So there you go. Suriname cherry here, again, another tree plant that people either love it or hate it. It's got that sour tart flavor. There are certain varieties that are sweeter than others, so you might want to get a sprout from a friend who can guarantee that it tastes good, because some of them are really sour, but they're a pretty tree, and the fruit are really fun. So if you like them, I happen to like them. My son likes them. I like that sour tart flavor. And then the pineapple here, look, one pineapple in this pot. It's kind of cool to grow, but you're in it for the long haul, and they take up a lot of space, and they do need to be fed. And then they've got some taro growing here, and I want to show you this bed. Look at how deep that bed is. That bed is about 4 feet deep. When you're growing things in containers, deep is really important versus wide and shallow. They really need to be able to put their roots down deep and get moisture slowly over a long period of time. So if you have things in pots and they keep dying, your pot is probably not deep enough. So coming around here, let's see. I know there's a bunch of citrus over here. I see some coffee and some cacao. Here's another fig. I think this is a white fig. But so you can see, so imagine this is a pot, and look, yeah, it just grows very quickly. So how do you know when a fig is ripe? Not by the color. So you see this guy, you gotta look right here at that join. So this join spot right here will tell you whether it's ripe or not. So this one is very strong. It's not ripe. When the fig starts to bend over and this makes a hook shape, then, and of course, if you just touch the fig, it'll come off. That's when it's optimally ripe. But this tree, I can see it's been pruned many, many times. Oh, I'm gonna look here. Brown turkey. Brown turkey is the common one, super easy to grow. If you see somebody pruning it and they just stick it in a pot, keep it moist, and you'll probably have your own fig tree. So this is a raised bed. So this one has been harvested, and you can see there is a sprinkler system in there that's set on a timer. This one is shallow because the only thing in here is a variety of different lettuces. It's got a bunch of mizuna. It's all greens, and their root system is shallow, and it's being watered frequently. So, but still, it's a good 12 to 15 inches deep. Lots of really good soil. Look, the soil comes all the way up to the top. So raised beds or raised boxes like this are really good, but they take more soil than you realize. And last year, this guy was producing. This is a mango in a pot, and he's looking beautiful. I don't see any blossoms on it. I don't know what variety it is, but it's looking really healthy. I wanted to show you, look at this pretty lettuce. I don't know what variety it is, but this is a blueberry. So Lori, you can probably have a lot more success with blueberries where you're at, cooler, with a misty moisture. So we've got some little blossoms there, but this is a blueberry, and they do propagate them on the big island, and then when they come here, it's just really difficult to get more than a couple of little blueberries from them. And then over here is the citrus zone. So all kinds of citrus. I don't know. This looks like a Meyer lemon. And then this guy, I don't know what this is. It's not sickly, that's just the variety. So that's another good reason to grow your own. So your kids can see that this is what a real fruit looks like. And it's perfectly edible. So you can see all these fruit trees, these citrus trees. Citrus grows very well. It's been pruned. This has been topped there for this. All these different varieties of citruses. And they produce quite well if you had a family. Look, you can even put a papaya in, and that one says 47 gallons. So that's the size of that pot, a 47-gallon pot. And more citrus, and this guy, Calamansi, so he's old, I can see by his trunk. And if you look in there, can you see the top? The top has been pruned, so they're really keeping it low. And there's the fruit. So that's full size. That's the way it's supposed to be. The Calamansi, for those of you on the mainland, really popular little citrus, and it's just the right size for squeezing onto your vegetables with every meal, fish, a little squeeze into your drink. Some plants are loaded with seeds, and other plants hardly any seeds. So again, if someone offers you a seedling from their tree, ask them, does it have a lot of seeds or no seeds? And if there's no seeds, snag it, because they can pack a lot of seeds in those little fruit. So that's that. That's this garden. It's being refreshed and revitalized. And one day, you folks can all come back and take a visit. So anyways, that's the tour of fruit trees in pots today. And yeah, so let me know if you guys have tried to grow anything in a pot, like a fruit tree or something, or if you have any questions. So anyway, thanks for joining me. You guys have a great day. Bye. You're welcome, Val. Thanks for joining me on the tour.